Everybody, welcome back to my English lesson. We are live, siamo live come al solito su Spreaker. Today I'd like to talk to you about, voglio parlarvi con voi about Greta's speech, about environment. And I'd like to read something about the World Economic Forum that took place in Davos in 2019. Our house is on fire is Greta's Thunberg, Greta's book. Our house is on fire. I'm here to say our house is on fire. According to the IPCC, we are less than 12 years away from not being able to undo our mistakes. In that time, unprecedented changes in all aspects of society needs to have taken place, including a reduction of our CO2 emissions by at least 50%. And please note that those numbers do not include the aspect of equity, which is absolutely necessary to make the Paris Agreement work on a global scale. Nor does it include tipping points or feedback loops like the extreme powerful methane gas being released from the thriving Arctic permafrost. At places like Davos, people like to tell success stories, but the financial success has come with an unthinkable price tag. And on climate change, we have to acknowledge that we have failed. All political movements, in their present form, have done so. And the media has failed to create broad public awareness. But Homo sapiens have not yet failed. Yes, we are failing, but there is still time to turn everything around. We can still fix this. We still have everything in our own hands. But unless we recognize the overall failures of our current systems, those probably don't stand a chance. We are facing a disaster of unspoken sufferings for enormous amounts of people, and now is the time for speaking politely. We are focusing on what we can or cannot say. Now it's the time to speak clearly. Solving the climate crisis is the greatest and most complex challenge that Homo sapiens have ever faced. The main solution, however, is so simple that even a small child can understand it. We have to stop the emissions of greenhouse gases, and either we do that or we don't. You say nothing in life is black or white, but it is a lie, a very dangerous lie. Either we prevent a 1.5 degree of warming or we don't. Either we avoid setting off that irreversible chain reaction beyond the human control, or we don't either. We choose to go on as a civilization or we don't. That is as black or white as it gets. There are no gray areas when it comes to survival. Now we all have a choice. We can create transformational action that it will safeguard the future living conditions for humankind, or we can continue with our business as usual and fail. That is up to you and me. Some say that we should not engage in activism. Instead, we should leave everything to our politicians and just vote for change instead. But what do we do when there is no political will? What do we do when the politics are nowhere in sight? Here in Davos, just like everywhere else, everyone is talking about money. It seems that money and growth are our only main concerns. And since the climate crisis is a crisis that has never once been treated as a crisis. People are simply not aware of the full consequences of our everyday life. People are not aware that there is such a thing as a carbon budget and just how incredibly small that remaining carbon budget is. And that needs to change today. No other current challenge can match the importance of establishing a wide public awareness and understanding of our rapidly disappearing carbon budgets that should and must become a new global currency in the very heart of future and present economics. We are now at a time in history where everyone with any insight to the climate crisis that threatens our civilization and the entire biosphere must speak out in clear language, no matter how uncomfortable and unprofitable that may be. We must change almost everything in our current societies. The bigger your carbon footprint is, the bigger your moral duty. The bigger your platform, the bigger your responsibility. Adults keep saying we owe it to be young people, to give them hope. But I don't want your hope. I don't want you to be hopeful. I want you to panic. I want you to feel the fear I feel every day. And then I want you to act. I want you to act as if you would in a crisis. I want you to act as if the house was on fire. Because it is. Some people say that we are not doing enough to fight climate change, but it is not true. Because not to do enough, you have to do something. And the truth is, we are basically not doing anything. Yes, some people are doing more than they can, but they are too few or too far away from power to make a difference today. Some people say that the climate crisis is something that we all have created, but it is just another convenient lie. Because if everyone is guilty, then no one is to blame. And someone is to blame. Some people, some companies, and some decision askers in particular has known exactly what priceless values they are sacrificing to continue making unimaginable amounts of money. I want to challenge those companies and those decision makers into real and bold climate action, to set their economic goals aside and to safeguard the future living conditions for humankind. I don't believe for one second that you will rise to that challenge, but I want to ask you all the same. I ask you to prove me wrong, for the sake of your children, for the sake of your grandchildren, for the sake of life and this beautiful living planet. I ask you to stand on the right side of history. I ask you to pledge to do everything in your power to push your own business or government in line with 1.5-degree world. Will you pledge to do that? Will you pledge to join me and the people all around the world in doing whatever it takes? Hashtag whatever it takes. My name is Greta-Thunberg. I'm 15 years old and I'm from Sweden. I speak on behalf of climate justice now. Many people say that Sweden is just a small country and it doesn't matter that we do what we do. But I've learned that you are never too small to make a difference, and if a few children can get headlines all over the world just by not going to school, then imagine what we could all do together if we really wanted to do. But to do that, we have to speak clearly, no matter how uncomfortable that may be. You only speak of a green eternal economic growth because you are too scared of being unpopular. You only talk about moving forward with the same bad ideas that got us into this mess, even when the only sensible thing to do is pull the emergency brake. You are not mature enough to tell it like it is. Even that burden you leave to us children. But I don't care about being popular. I care about climate justice and the living planet. Our civilization is being sacrificed for the opportunity with a very small number of people to continue making enormous amounts of money. Our biosphere is being sacrificed so that rich people in countries like mine can live in luxury. It is the sufferings of the many which pay for the luxuries of the few. The year 2078, I will celebrate my 75th birthday. If I have children, maybe they will spend that day with me. Maybe they will ask me about you. Maybe they will ask why you didn't do anything, why there still was time to act. You say you love your children above all else, and yet you're still in their future, in front of their very, very eyes. Until you start focusing on what needs to be done rather than what is politically possible, there is no hope. We cannot solve a crisis without treating it as a crisis. We need to keep the fossil fuels in the ground, and we need to focus on equity. And if solutions within this system are so impossible to find, then maybe we should change the system itself. We have not come here to beg world leaders to care. You have ignored us in the past, and you will ignore us again. We have run out of excuses, and we are running out of time. We have come here to let you know that change is coming, whether you like it or not. The real power belongs to the people. Thank you. This was a great speech by Greta-Thunberg. Bye. See you. Tell me your opinion about the environment. What are the actions that you are doing? What are the actions that you are doing in this period of your life to save our planet? Bye. See you.